Alright, there we go. Yeah! So I have a poll today. Lately I've been unable to decide which JRPG to stream next. So I've been struggling between 4 or 5. I think I'm only able to add like 4 options, so I'm just gonna throw in 4. Next JRPG I should stream. So I wanna do this one. What else? Yeah, there's only like 4 options, right? Okay, only 4 options. Why only 4 options, YouTube? Why only 4 options? Why can't I add like fucking 20? I have 20 on the line that I want to stream. What was the other one? Oh man, I forgot.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This one? But I will be streaming the original, you know, not the remaster, and everybody will be bitching like, why are you streaming this and not the remaster? Fuck that. So no, what was the other one that I wanted to stream? These 3? I forgot. So how are you guys? This song is a bop. What is it? Well, according to what you're seeing below me, okay, this is Deftones. The song is called Streaming Nightmares. Streaming Nightmares by Deftones. As you can see below here in the title, you know, it says right there the name of the song. What's up, guys? Oh yeah, why? Okay, this fucking game. No, this is gonna confuse the heck out of people.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I should add, you know, the name of the. No, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Because if I put the console names, people are gonna vote for the consoles. Yeah. So what JRPG should I stream next? I haven't decided. Here's 4 options. You decide for me. Just fucking vote. And the winner will be streamed possibly next week. There you go. What do you mean last Q&A in your house? You're moving out? What's up, Praetor, Eka, Ryan? Suikoden Countdown? Yeah, you're damn right. Suikoden Countdown will finally be able to see if Konami destroyed the localization and censored it and altered it for the sake of the minuscule microscopic modern audiences. Streamed on Twitch or YouTube? Oh, I forgot to say, can I edit it? I can edit it. Yeah, but it's on YouTube. Here on YouTube. On Twitch, the type of JRPGs that I stream on Twitch are like the ones that I can't stream on YouTube because YouTube is a fucking snowflake website. So I usually leave the super sexy JRPGs for Twitch or the variety streams where I stream like more than one game, you know. But when I only stream one JRPG, it's here. Wow, a lot of people are voting for Wild Arms. You do know which game is that one, do you? That's the remake of the first Wild Arms on the PlayStation 2. I was gonna put Wild Arms remake, but then I guess people will be thinking that there's an upcoming Wild Arms remake, which is not true. It did get a remake. A lot of people don't know the remake. Wild Arms on the PS1 got a remake on the PS2 called Alter Code F. It's the same game. That's what you want to see streamed here on YouTube? Let me know. What's up, David? You never heard of those games? You never heard of these games? Then you're not a fan of this channel. Which do you prefer to stream games on the most, on Twitch or YouTube? Well, it depends, you know. I've been asked that question before, and Nowadays, it's a mixed bag. Both websites have a lot of problems. YouTube takes, it notifies a lot of people, but not enough. Twitch barely notifies anyone. So when it comes to notifications, YouTube surprisingly and very ironically wins. When it comes with audience, well, you get less trolls and haters and dumbasses on Twitch. But on the other hand, you barely get anybody on Twitch. And Twitch is more about, unless your streams get thousands of views, you rely 90% on subscribers. And because a subscription costs like $2 or $3, there should be, in my opinion, there should be like at least a less expensive subscription for Twitch. But the lowest you can buy on Twitch is like $3, I believe, or like $2.50 plus taxes, Come on, Twitch, really? Who the fuck you think you are, Netflix? So I have like 10 subscribers right now, and 5 of them were like gift subs, on Twitch. And YouTube relies more on ads and super chats. I mean, you can become a member, but that doesn't really help with the live streams. You know what I mean? So live streaming on YouTube is like way more. It depends way more on super chats and donations and the ads. But when it comes to the ads, your stream needs to have like fucking thousands of views. 4,000 or 5,000 views at the very least to make $5, maybe $6. So in that area, it's a mixed bag. I don't know which one is better, like Twitch or YouTube. Because on Twitch, you get like somebody paid for a subscription and you get the money, but they only pay that for a month. So if you get like 10 subscribers, you can stream whenever you want on Twitch. You better stream often, to make up for those 10 subscriptions, I don't know. Nowadays, I don't know, man. I think these both websites have a lot of problems for streaming, and they aren't very well designed. I mean, they were back in the day, but nowadays I feel like they aren't that very well designed for streamers. How do I put this? Like, they do a lot of things that are against the streamer and against the viewer. They fuck you up with thousands of ads, and even if you have Adblock Plus, some ads still manage to sneak in, It's annoying. And for the streamers, it's just the subscriptions on Twitch are a little bit more expensive than what they should be, in my opinion. And YouTube doesn't have that. They only have the memberships, but that's for the entire channel, not just for the live streams. So, I don't know. I feel like both websites have a lot of problems when it comes to streaming. But then again, I can't put myself in their shoes because they have a crap ton of streamers. I feel like nowadays, I mean, a lot of you watching right now are streamers. And you don't make a living out of this. You just stream because you want to, because you like it. And maybe you make like $1 a month, but you still stream weekly. So everybody does it nowadays. So I don't know, nowadays I can't answer which platform is better for streaming. According to you guys, YouTube, because most of you don't give a shit about my Twitch channel and refuse to go and watch me there. I don't know why. Assholes. Thank you, Hooflong. Sorry for missing the last couple of live streams. I've been busy lately. No, I can't forgive you, man. It's unforgivable that you weren't here in the other live streams. I want you here on every fucking live stream. You can't miss them. Your apology means nothing. Come on, man. Don't apologize for something like that. Have you seen the amount of indie RPGs coming out on Steam this year? Nope. Honestly, I don't pay attention anymore to anything that's coming out, unless it makes a lot of noise, Or unless I get a review code or something. I do get some of them, Well, I'm not gonna give them attention, but occasionally I do get the... And sometimes they aren't even review codes. It's just the developer or the studio reaching out. Hey, please try my demo. Sure. And every now and then I used to ask them, Well, okay. Does your your game looks interesting? Thank you for reaching out. Is it biased? Is it politically biased? Does it have DEI or something? And then I will never hear back, or maybe I will hear back with an answer saying, "I don't think this game is for you." And that was my answer. I was like, "Oh, the game has DEI or woke bullshit." But nowadays, I just don't reply. If they send a review code, then okay, I'm interested because they're giving me something. But whenever these assholes reach out to me saying, "Hey, please try my demo, here it is on Steam." No! Anyway, I don't pay attention to anything that's coming out. I know about the Suikoden remasters, I know about the Luna remasters, I know about the Trials in the Sky remake, Stellar Blade on PC. I don't give a shit about anything modern anymore. The game industry is dead to me, and you know that. How's the poll going? Wow, The Last Story 30% and Wild Arms 27%. It looks like it's going to be a battle between The Last Story and Wild Arms. Nobody cares about Shadow Hearts 3. Really? Come on, that's a good game. I'll tell you something about Shadow Hearts 3. It's a really slow game. The first mission is fucking annoying. You play as Johnny, and you're a detective looking for a lost cat or something, and then you go to the theater, and you gotta do an entire mission in there, and there's a lot of dialogue and tutorials, and I hate it. But then, like 1 hour later, Shania appears, and that's when the game finally starts. So it might be still worth streaming, but I'm gonna stick to whatever you guys decide. The Last Story or Wild Arms, let me know. Baten Kaitos, I will be streaming the original GameCube version, upscaled at 1080p. I don't have the Switch remasters, but I will be streaming the original GameCube version via Dolphin, the emulator, but it will look almost as if it was remastered, in case you want to see that. Anyway, sorry that I went on a rant about that, the modern games. You found my channel thanks to The Last Remnant? You saw my review from like 8 years ago? Really? Where I destroyed it with a big stone? That was a fun video to do. You streamed for 10 months on Twitch, and since you didn't make affiliate, I couldn't even get subscribers or Amazon Prime. Fuck. You see how it is? It's just so hard. Twitch made it so hard, man. It used to be easy, and I wasted that opportunity. When I started streaming on Twitch, it was 2019, May of 2019. You can get the whole story in my biography. My biography is there in my blog. Link to the blog in my blog in the description. There's a huge biography, that I released. A friend helped me write the biography, trying to stay... Because I wrote my biography, and it was nothing but very subjective stuff. And my friend was like, you need to stick to the facts, Okay, so I stuck to the facts. So it's nothing but facts. Just the facts, not the opinion. Just the facts. Okay, if you're interested in my biography. My bio. Can I call it bio or bio? Biography. So, and back then in 2019, the platform was very, very friendly to newcomers, But it didn't work out for me back then. I abandoned it, and when I tried to come back in October of 2023, it was already super saturated. The rules had changed. It was almost impossible to make it, and dude, I'm Eric Landon RPG, right? And I can't even fucking make it. I get like 20 viewers if I'm really lucky. 20 viewers. Whenever I see 20 viewers, I'm like, oh! Atelier producer has come out and said that Atelier Rise has saved the franchise. Wow, do you have a source of that? I'm surprised the producer said that, considering the franchise wasn't exactly in trouble. Or at least it didn't feel that way, It's just the Atelier series... This is weird because the Atelier series... since the 2010s or something, they were releasing like a game every damn year. So you will think this is a successful series, right? Maybe not so that much in overseas, but in Japan it was like... In Japan, the Atelier series has always been successful. The first game, Atelier Marie, was released in like 1995 or 6 for the PlayStation and Sega Saturn. Atelier Marie. And look, just go to Wikipedia, man. and look up the Atelier series and look how many fucking Atelier games there have been over the years. It's like 1 or 2 per year. You know, and a crap ton of remasters and ports and blah blah blah, you know, and remakes. You know, it's insane. So you will think like this series. The series didn't exactly need Risa. You know, it was doing fine, but maybe it wasn't doing fine outside of Japan. Maybe it was just doing great in Japan, but overseas all the titles were, I don't know, hidden gems. And they were. You know, when I started making videos for years, I was treating most of the Atelier games as hidden gems. Until I made a video called "These games aren't hidden gems anymore" because Risa became popular. Okay, so I'll give you this. Maybe Risa didn't save the franchise, but it made it popular worldwide. Not as popular as Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts or Dragon Quest, no. You know, but popular enough to keep going with releases worldwide. But for the producer to come out and say that Atelier Risa saved the franchise, so maybe that's just your interpretation of what the producer said, you know? It's on the Go Nintendo website. Okay, so maybe that's the interpretation of the Go Nintendo website. I don't know. I'll look it up later, you know, but I don't know. It's like, remember Fire Emblem? The Fire Emblem series almost died. Okay, it almost died after Nintendo and Intelligent Systems made a remake of the first 2 Fire Emblem games, Shadow Dragon 1 and 2. There's 2 games, you know, and we only got the first one because the first one on the Nintendo DS didn't do very well overseas. So the second one was like Nintendo didn't even bother. They were like, why release this fucking game? It's not gonna sell. It's gonna fail. The franchise is dead. If Intelligent Systems, if you want to keep releasing Fire Emblem games, you better do something, or I don't know, just release them only in Japan, you know, that's it. And then Awakening came, and they were like, okay, this is gonna be the last Fire Emblem. Let's release it overseas on the 3DS. We don't know what's gonna happen, so here you go. And it was a massive success, right? So it saved the franchise, but the franchise, it's not like we weren't getting 1 Fire Emblem game every fucking year or 2 per year like the Atelier series. So you see what I mean? The Fire Emblem series was in danger, but Atelier in danger? Like I said, maybe it was in danger in the West, but in Japan I can guarantee you it was never in danger, and Risa saved nothing. Maybe Atelier Risa saved the franchise overseas. That's my interpretation without reading the article, because it's just unbelievable that the producer will say something like that. That the series was about to die, but Risa saved it. Really? Then why were you releasing like 2-3 fucking games per year? Anyway, that was interesting, man. Thanks for letting me know. Welcome to the stream, Irvo Stein, I can't pronounce your name. I can't stream Pandora's Tower because of the motion controls. It's really hard, man. Trust me, I want to do a live stream of Pandora's Tower, but mapping the motion controls with the emulator, I will have to have a Wii and an HDMI cable so I can plug into my capture card and then stream it. Since I don't have that, I can't stream Pandora's Tower. So, but I do recommend it. Yeah, it's a good game, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the motion controls, pointing the fucking controller at the screen with the chains, and the boss fights take forever. I don't know, man. I have the game in my collection. Not my cup of tea in terms of gameplay. In terms of story, definitely, right? Great, dark as hell story, you know, but that ruins the game for me. But if you can put up with that, it's a really good game. What's the longest game you've ever streamed? Wait a second. Music is very loud. What do you mean, the longest game I've ever streamed? What do you mean? You mean like a full playthrough? Or just once? So if you don't pay attention to new games, then you're mostly focused on replaying games or games you missed? Replaying? No. Games I missed? Yes. And trust me, there's like a million of those. Thanks to that my backlog suddenly increased. As soon as I stopped paying attention to most modern games, my backlog all of a sudden increased 10 times. What is your optional JRPG story length in hours? Optimal. I've done videos on that, Southpaw. 30 hours, around that, you know. Between 25 and 35 hours, you know, that's my... In terms of just story, right? Forget about side quests and side content, you know. Just the story, 25, 35 hours. That's... yeah, I've done videos on that. What do you think on Yakuza? The pirate game, I haven't played it. Didn't you just hear me saying that I have no fucking... Is it out? Is the pirate game out? I remember when it was announced, you know, but is it out? The fucking pirate simulator game with the Goro Majima out? Didn't even know that. Fan service saved. Atelier. Okay. I don't think so. Well, maybe, okay, maybe. Interlocutor, what's up, man? The sad part of Fire Emblem is the vocalization, that's right. And you gotta also consider that the Fire Emblem Awakening, the story was like, what the hell, man? I'm surprised the game's that fucking game saved the franchise. In terms of gameplay, the game is fucking great, you know, but in terms of story, it's like cringe, man. Not as cringe as Fates or Engage. Engage is by far the worst, but it's bad. But it had a lot of interesting characters. Maybe Tharja saved Fire Emblem, just like Risa saved Atelier. I don't think, well, maybe Risa becoming a meme increased the popularity of the series. That I agree with you guys. I would say it saved the series because, well, anyway, I'll read that article, you know. Okay. That's an interesting statement about Chinese and Korean developers. You think they are a replacement for Japanese games or Western games? Do you feel they're gonna take over the industry, the gaming industry? I don't know. Do you agree with Edelgard's view about overthrowing the church system by declaring war? Mean this, Edelgard? That says obey? That Edelgard? God damn it. Shouldn't have done that. There. Well, a lot of JRPGs portray the church as evil, you know? I don't know why they are so obsessed with attacking the church. I don't know how I feel about that nowadays. No comment. Well, looks like the poll is still going and the last story is going to be my next stream. I doubt any of the other games will reach out. Shadow Hearts 3 is at the bottom with 19%. Batten Kaito's 21%. Wild Arms Alter Code F stopped fighting with 23%. Everybody wants the last story. Alright, then I'll do that. I'll leave the poll for a little bit more. You were curious to know my opinion on Majima, how he changed after finishing Zero? You won't have my opinion because I will have to spoil the entire game, man. And I think there's a lot of people here who want to play the game without being spoiled, so I can't answer that. From the Operation Rainfall games, which one was your favorite? Back then, the last story. But then, yeah, the last story. Because Xenoblade Chronicles the Definitive Edition came way later. Like 6 or 7 years later, you know? So that wasn't Operation Rainfall. And I love that fucking game. But out of the 3 games localized on the Wii 10 years ago, the last story was my favorite back then. What's the best Atelier game? Atelier Iris 2 on the PlayStation 2. That's my king in the series. That's still my king. Shally is a close second. I haven't gone back to Shadow Madness. I haven't played anything more than what I showed in the stream from a few weeks ago. What you saw in there, that's all that I've played. You know, I need to go back to it and maybe put some more hours to see if it's something worth playing or worth finishing. Ask me that question in like a month. I don't know. I'll be honest, it didn't look that great, you know. It looked like it had a lot of problems. How the game starts you off with barely any healing items or no healing items at all. And the first fucking battle can kill you and can get you a game over, you know. And you get into a lot of battles and you explore around with random encounters. And there's barely any healing. It's like Beyond the Beyond that I streamed yesterday. It's like the game starts and they give you 2 fucking herbs. And you can't find herbs anywhere. No one has a healing spell. It's like, that's it. Those 2 herbs for the entire fucking dungeon, man. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but do it. So, my first impressions of Shadow Madness were pretty mixed. Some cool things about it, some bad things about it. I don't have a strong opinion yet. Cold Steel 1 and 2 got a new release batch for PS4. They were released on PS4 like 6 years ago, man. What are you talking about? Oh, they got reprinted. Oh, okay. I already have them. I have the first one on the PS Vita and all the others on PS4, except Reverie. Trails into Reverie has become rare and expensive. Here, I don't know how much it goes for in your countries, but Trails into Reverie, any fucking version, Switch, PS4, PS5, they go for like $80. At the very least, $80 to $100. Trails into Reverie, what the fuck? But hey, that's needs America for you. Bunch of fucking imbeciles. I didn't know Cold Steel 1 and 2 got reprinted. People want them on the Switch. PS4, that's old news. Maybe I would like to have the first one also on PS4. It looks better. It's a remaster, you know, of the PS Vita version. How much does it go for nowadays? Trails of Cold Steel PS4. Oh, there you go. $30. Both of them, actually. But I'm only seeing the PAL versions here on Amazon. Trails to Azure, super fucking rare and expensive as well. Yeah, okay, so $30. Nah, I'm not willing to pay that. I already have them all. I will be willing to pay like $20 or less for the first one on PS4 because I already have it on the Vita. So what's the point? Thanks again, Hooflong. You were driving, I am driving G up to the game shop. Okay, which 3DS Fire Emblem do you recommend? Echoes. And actually, I think Echoes is like the cheapest of the bunch because they all go for like $40, you know? Definitely Echoes because it's a full remake of the Famicom game, NES game that we never got many, many years ago. I don't know why it took Nintendo so long to remake that game. But that's the best one in my opinion, by far. Awakening is fine, but the story is bad and Fates is trash. The story, so don't bother with those games. Unless you see Awakening for like $30 or less, you know. Did you know that Western studios that were funded by the Chinese company NetEase decided to misuse that money and it led to a lot of the recent layoffs and closures? No, I didn't know that. That's crazy. You are really excited about the Fate Extra remake. Yeah, I could say the same thing, you know, the me from like 2 years ago. But nowadays, you know, they're probably going to ruin it. Hopefully not. What are the most innovative, fun progression systems in your opinion? Nowadays, game developers just default to skill trees. Man, I will have to really think about that. Progression systems. What, can you elaborate more on that? You know, what exactly is a progression system, or what do you mean by that? Are you just talking about the leveling system in video game, in JRPGs? or how you grind, or how you get better, when it comes to like like skill trees, for example, or equipment system. It's just, I think when it comes to making your characters make progress, like get better, get good, a lot of factors are involved, even in modern games. Not just there's a lot of them that don't really rely a lot on skill trees, So I don't know exactly what you mean. You're talking about how you level up, allocate stats, unlock skills. Yeah, so that's, dude. I don't know, man. You're asking a guy who's played hundreds of RPGs. That will probably be a good video, Like, off the top of my head, I always believed that Chrono Cross had a very innovative system because it wasn't really relying on levels. You do level up, but only in the boss fights. And if you fight out there, it's like the Saga series. You may have one stat increase for the character in your party. So as long as you have those characters in your active party fighting random battles, they may get a stat increase like HP +1 or defense +1, and that's it. So I'm saying innovative. I'm not saying it's great. Like, I fucking love Chrono Cross. Obviously, you guys already know that, but it has its problems, That's why you come to this channel, for the honest opinions. Because I'm not that one guy that's gonna say, oh, Chrono Trigger is a masterpiece and it's untouchable and no, it's perfect. No, not a single flaw, it's fucking perfect. I'm not that guy. I even shit on my favorite fucking game of all time. And I'm saying that the progression system in Chrono Cross was a little bit assy, to be honest. You couldn't level up the normal way. You had no skill tree whatsoever. It was completely relying on the elements and the customization for the weapon system, the upgrade system, It was more relying on that. So I am not really a big fan of that. I want my grinding, I want to level up. And I also think skill trees are important, especially the skill trees that increase stats, Take Tales of Exilia, for example. Both games have this skill tree that looks like a net expanding, And a lot of the things that you get with points, they may give you a new ability, but they may also increase some stats, Another game that randomly popped in my head is Rise Eterna, which is basically inspired by Fire Emblem, but not with the level progression system. You don't level up in that game. Instead, you gain like points, and you can allocate them for different. You have a skill tree, and you use those points to allocate them, And then you can either learn a new ability with that point, or because you only get like 1 or 2 points after battle, or you may use that point to increase defense or strength. So that's maybe it's not innovative because the game came out like 5 years ago. It's probably been seen before. But what I'm trying to say is that was different than relying on a leveling system. Because if you play the Fire Emblem games, you have no skill tree. A lot of Fire Emblem games let you equip characters with skills, which is fucking great, But you don't have a skill tree per se. You don't learn anything, right? You just like acquire these skills and you can equip your favorite characters with those fucking skills. Or they learn them, but these skills are unique to these characters and they don't improve. You learn the fucking skill and that's it for the rest of the game, And how do you level up? By RNG. With an RNG system, you level up and all your stats randomly increase. And sometimes you level up, finally level this character up, and the only fucking stat that goes up is luck. Like, really? So it's frustrating. And an indie game like Rise Eterna got rid of that and instead gave the player points so you can allocate them to whatever you want, So that's interesting, But anyway, I'm going off the rails with that. I don't think I can answer your question. There's just a crap ton of JRPGs, and I will have to like really analyze them and say, this one has an interesting leveling system. I don't know. What about you guys? Which JRPGs do you guys think have like a really innovative or fun progression system, like getting better, improving your characters, Because going back to Chrono Cross, it was always more about the equipment system. Sure, you got your random stat increases after random battles, but it was rare and it was just random and it didn't really help much. And leveling up helped, but it's not gonna help you that much with the next boss battle. You gotta rely a lot on the equipment system and on your strategy, on how do you equip your elements to your characters and how you use them and how you fight during battle. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Chrono Cross relies more on skill than on skill and strategy than on a progression system. That's what makes Chrono Cross so unique and so damn good in my opinion. But that's just the fanboy in me talking about it. So, what about you guys? That was an interesting topic, interesting question. Do you have Blue Reflection 1 and 2 physical? Nope. I got close in getting the second one on Switch for like $30. And I should have bought it, but I have the game on PS4 and it looks gorgeous on PS4. It looks good on Switch. I've seen footage of the game on Switch, but it looks much better on PS4 and that's the version that I want. But yeah, they're very expensive, And the Switch version was PAL. And I know PAL, the Switch is region free. I can buy PAL games and they're going to work there, no problem, but I would rather have the North American release. Anyway, so if I ever see Blue Reflection on Switch, Blue Reflection 2 on Switch again for like 20 or 30, I'll probably pick it up just for the sake of collecting it. But I don't think I'll ever play it. I'm going to keep playing. If I ever replay that game, it's going to be on PS4. It's a fan service game, man. You want it to have the best fucking graphics possible, What JRPG will get worse story-wise if the story was darker? Maybe something like Grandia, the first one. Maybe the Lunar games, especially the first one as well. All of those games, Hell, maybe even Chrono Trigger. I don't know. There's a lot of games that are appreciated because their stories are not dark. Or the darkness level is like the bare minimum, And that's what make a lot of people love them. Pokemon. Well, Digimon Survive. I love that fucking game, and I'm not a fan of Digimon, but I like that fucking game because it was dark. And nobody liked it. Digimon fans hated that fucking game. Now you see. Do you have any regrets on playing the Chrono Cross remaster because of how much worse it was? Worse in terms of what? How the fuck was it worse? If you mean that little dialogue scene at the beginning with Lina's friend being changed because it was offensive, yeah, that's fucking bullshit. If you mean the CGI cutscenes not being remastered, yeah, that's fucking bullshit. But apart from that, it's fucking perfect. What's wrong with it? Well, do you think giving a number score for game review should end? Dude, I just... What? Do me a favor, B-Man. Click on my blog. You will find a link to my blog in the description. Click on it and there's a section that says scores. And there's your answer. What ending did you get in Persona 4? What difficulty did you play it? I don't remember I played the original PS2 version. I don't remember if that one had difficulty settings. But at first I got the bad ending or the regular ending, and I was like, I read it online and it wasn't like the true ending, so I went for the true ending instead later on. But I kept playing, I saved on a different file. It's not like I restarted the whole game. But I've only beaten the original PS2 version, not the remasters. That's not a good example, Hooflong. That's a gacha game, and that's a Chinese game. It's not even a JRPG. That's a loaded question? Which question? You found your Lunar 1 disc for Sega CD? Wow. That's a long time ago, this reseller that I knew, he was in a game show, in an anime convention, and I went there, and he had Lunar on the Sega CD complete in box, decent condition, good condition, not mint, but decent. And nobody was buying it. So, and he had that fucking game for a long time. And he said, "Give me $35 for it." And I was like, no. One of my top 100 biggest regrets in collecting. But man, one that I regret far more is never buying Trails in the Sky for the same, like $40 when I could on the PSP. Fuck. Or Rule of Rose for $50. Rule of Rose for $50. But can you blame me? Back then, that was what the game was going for. I was like, I'm not gonna pay $50. Have you played Rule of Rose? It's not a great game. It's not a bad game, but it's not a great game. It has a lot of problems, It's not a great game. So I played it, and this guy had it for $50, and $50 15 years ago was expensive, Any game going for $50 was like, damn, that's a lot of money for a video game, man, And this guy had it for $50, complete in box, mint. And he said, give me 50, give me 45. And I said, no, no. And now the game goes for $500. You should make a video on that, might be. No. Because after doing the video, I will be fucking crying at the end. I will be like, why did I let that game go? Fuck. I hope I don't regret not buying a Blue Reflection 2 on the Switch for $30. How much is it nowadays? Let's see. Bring it on. Blue Reflection Switch. Oh, man. Let's change the subject, please. Fuck my life. Did you have any issues with the pacing of Triangle Strategy? No, because I thought the story was fucking awesome since the beginning and really interesting. That nope. I mean, I see what the complaints are, and when I made my reviews of that game, I addressed that issue, But not really because the story was awesome. I have problems when the games are slow, and because of the story, and the story at the beginning is like trash or like stupidly, like some of the Trails games, man. Like Trails in the Sky, the first chapter, super slow, man. But I guess Trails in the Sky is just, I don't know. It's just such a very charming game, that you put up with it. But yeah, I never had any issues with Triangle Strategy. Game collectors are cheapskates, in my opinion, compared to card collectors that pay crazy prices. Well, I'm glad I'm a cheapskate. Who do you think is the strongest protagonist in the Shin Megami Tensei universe? Probably the Demi-Fiend, because he is basically half a demon, right? He has demon powers. All the others seem to be like regular human beings. Well, maybe the Nahobino, because he gets like the equivalent of divine powers, and he can transform into that androgynous piece of shit. There's one thing I hated about Shin Megami Tensei 5 is the main character. He looks modern audience, man. He looks gay as fuck, androgynous as fuck, and the voice actor can kiss my fucking ass, the English motherfucker. That was my biggest gripe with that fucking game. But the strongest protagonist, I don't know, probably that guy, because he has divine powers, right? Let alone, forget about his looks. He has divine fucking powers. More, so is that better than the Demi-Fiend? I don't fucking know. But the Demi-Fiend is the Demi-Fiend, and he's probably the most badass protagonist in Shin Megami Tensei history. Let me think of all of them, including spin-offs, The first guy, I've never played the second game, so no opinion on the second guy. But on the first guy, he's just, I mean, come on, he's just average. And then you got the Demi Fiend, and then you got Flynn. Flynn is a samurai, so that's an advantage. He knows how to fight and handle himself without demons. He can put up a fight. He's powerful, but he's not a Demi Fiend or a Nahobino. And then you got the guy from Apocalypse who's just a 16-year-old punk kid, no. And then Digital Devil Saga, you got this guy who can transform into an actual demon. That's pretty fucking powerful, But there's a lot of... I don't want to spoil anything about Digital Devil Saga, but there's a lot of problems because of that. So I still think that Demi Fiend is more powerful. Or the Nahobino. And then you got Raido Kusunoha, who's just a detective with a sword and a gun. No, he's just a human being, right? And then you got the guy from Soul Hackers, or Ringo, maybe Ringo from Soul Hackers 2, because she's an android, an AI. She's immortal, as long as her program doesn't get deleted. And they also seem to be like divine beings. Yeah, hey, Ringo, say whatever you want about Soul Hackers 2, but Ringo, she's one of the most powerful fucking characters. But since she's bound to a human-looking body, she's not that powerful, and she still needs to, no, the Demi Fiend is still, more powerful. I don't know. What else am I missing? Devil, Survivor... Come on, no. It's just two high school students. The main character. So no, the Demi Fiend wins. You've played Dragon Force. Have you listened to the Dragon Force band before? I have listened to some of the songs from the 90s, I believe. I'm not really a fan of the series. What's my favorite obscure Mega 10 game? Obscure, huh? It's kind of hard to find obscure games within that franchise nowadays. What happened to the music? Oh, there we go. Are the Raido Kusunoha games obscure? I don't think they're that obscure. No, it's just what's obscure in the Mega 10 universe? Devil Children, maybe? On Game Boy Advance? Why are battle systems like in the Grow Lancer series so underrepresented? I think it's because they're a bit stressful for your average player. Your average player will rather have something turn-based so they can take their time to think things through and decide actions, And when it comes to regular action games, it's just that, It's just you bunch and hack and slash, blah blah blah, So it's easier, and that's something that's been there since the NES. But the Grow Lancer battle system is basically a real-time strategy, So making decisions, split-second decisions, all the time, and going back and forth between several characters, and the camera moving forward, it's really stressful. I love it. That's why I love those games so much, because they are practically really intense and addicting, But I can understand why they aren't everyone's cup of tea. I think that's why they are underrepresented, maybe. Is the remake of Wild Arms fan translated or official release? Official release. It was officially released here in North America. I think the publisher was H-Tech on the PlayStation 2 many, many years ago, 20 years ago. So, Baten Kaitos is getting there. Look at that. 91 votes, 92 votes. The last story, 33. Baten Kaitos, 30. Wow, it's picking up. I'm going to end the poll at 100 votes. Anything can happen. But I think it's safe to say that Shadow Hearts 3 and Wild Arms are done. It's now all about Baten Kaitos and the last story. 7 people can make the difference. 7 votes. Come on. You will decide the next JRPG that I'll stream here on YouTube. One of those 4. I remember Shin Megami Tensei 5 having a trigger warning at the start of the game. What's that? I don't remember that. And if it... What's that? A trigger warning? What other tactical RPGs would you recommend to a newbie? I've done videos on that, like 2 or 3 videos. Check those out. If you had to pick one game you used to hate to bring with you on a desert island, what would it be? Assuming infinite electricity and working console TV on your choice. One game that I used to hate? That's a horrible question, man. How dare you? I guess I will probably bring Night in the Nightmare and try my best to learn the mechanics and put up with it, because I know for a fact it's not a bad game. It's not... Well, it is bad because it's extremely convoluted and super hard to understand. It's the most convoluted piece of shit I've ever played in my life, you know? But I know for a fact it isn't terrible. So, yeah, that will be my pick. Probably Nights in the Nightmare. What's another RPG with a super complex story like 13 Sentinels? I've done videos on that too. Digital Devil Saga is still obscure? Is it? I don't know. What RPG you streamed yesterday? That RPG you streamed yesterday. Oh, Beyond the Beyond? Yeah. Is that a Fire Emblem Three Houses t-shirt? Yes, it is. This is an Edelgard t-shirt. It's a meme. You know how she's like, obey me? You know? Obey me and the system and blah blah. Yeah, it's a meme. That's why I love it. It's an Edelgard t-shirt. Alright, so... there you have it. The poll is over, guys. The last story won with 35%. 102 votes. Wow, nobody wants me, barely anybody wants me to stream Shadow Hearts 3. Alright, I'll never stream it. I'll make sure to never stream it. It was either Bats and Kaitos or the last story. So I'll do the last story. Fine. Hopefully I won't have a lot of issues with the motion controls. But we'll see what happens, you know? What's the hardest RPG you've ever played and still enjoyed? I've done videos on that too, man. Several of them. There's a couple of... There's a lot. But just right now off the top of my head, Valkyrie Profile 2. Did you find how to recruit characters in Queen's Blade? No. Did you? I have no idea how. They made it so fucking hard and difficult to figure out and to achieve. You know, fucking hell with that game. RTS RPG with the longest main story battles. Probably Grow Lancer or... no, wait a second. They aren't that many, you know. So, Ogre Battle... maybe Dragon Force or Ogre Battle. I'd say one of either, you know. The Ogre Battle games or the Dragon Force games. The campaigns are long and the battles take forever. So there you go. Which JRPG protagonists could beat someone in real life, in a real life fight? They all seem to be teenage boys. Not all of them, we were just talking about the Demi-Fiend and the Nahobino, and they are still kind of teenager, but they get their, like, powers, you know? I think there's a lot of them. A trigger warning will be like everything that keep depicted in this game is fiction and does not cause real-world harm. Oh, I didn't know that. So like a disclaimer, right? Interesting. That wasn't the same in Nocturne or 4. I think I remember seeing the same message on Shin Megami Tensei 4. Anyway, so... you think you played Shadow Farts after Taco Bell once? It's a good joke. Favorite character from Skies of Arcadia? Aika. I never thought she will grow on me that much. At the beginning she was like, oh, she's the generic childhood friend that's in love with the main character, you know? And I looked at Fina and I was like, oh, she's gonna be my girl, you know? But no, Aika grows on you a lot. And at the end you're like, I love her. And I love her as a character. Because yes, she's not that hot, she's kind of bland. In terms of body. You know, but... She's sexy and I don't know, she's has this lovable personality. I don't know, I ended up loving Aika, you know. Really liked her. But maybe Belleza. Belleza means beauty in English, but Belleza, I can't say much about her to avoid spoilers, but she was my waifu. Aika was my favorite character, but my waifu was Belleza, of course. Have you played Chain Echoes? No. Complex story, so any Atlus game? Not every Atlus game has a complex story. Some of them. I enjoyed Shadow Hearts 3, you know. It's not a good story, no. It has interesting antagonists, you know. And it's got Shania. What else do you want? You don't need a good story when you have Shania. It had great battle mechanics, yeah. So it's a great game, you know. Pao, I gave it, what, like an 8? 8.2 in my blog? I mean, it's a great game. Is Trevor in the chat room? Probably lurking, as always. Aika with her hair looks gorgeous. Yeah, I agree. Because her hairstyle is fucking stupid. She looks fucking stupid, man. But that part of the game where she lets her hair loose... Oh, man. I'm a big fan of ponytails, too, you know. I love hair, loose hair, long, but ponytails. Pigtails, no, as long as they're long, like Estelle. Currently playing Dungeon Crawler. Dungeon Traveler 2 Heart 2. Oh. It's a fan service game. Which JRPG had the most beautiful pixel art sprites in your opinion? Suikoden 2. Fucking gorgeous game, man. Chrono Cross are polygons, right? Are they still polygons when in the overworld or in the areas? I mean, I know they're polygons in battle. But outside of battle, are those still polygons? I think they are, right? Because they look beautiful when they're over the overworld running around, or the dungeons or the areas, and your party members following behind you. That looks fucking great. I know it's probably not pixel art, but yeah. Breath of Fire 1 and 2 and 4. 3 is fine. Decent pixel art, but 1, 2, and 4. 4. Breath of Fire 4. Oh my god. The animations, the pixel... Dude. Incredibly beautiful. You know? In fact, well, it's just Suikoden 2, man. Suikoden 1, not really. Suikoden 2, beautiful pixel art, but Breath of Fire 4 is like... Dude, what else is there? I was gonna say Star Ocean, but the first two games, especially the second one, the second story. But now, although they look fantastic in the remake, well, you got Octopath Traveler 1 and 2. Those are that's pixel art. It's glorious, you know, but that's a modern game, right? I mean, does it really count? Are we talking about like what the pixel art era from Game Boy Advance era and below? You know. Well, speaking about Game Boy Advance, Summon Night, Swordcraft Story 1 and 2. Gorgeous, glorious pixel art, man. Oh, absolutely beautiful. The best thing about those games is that, and the music in those games, sure, the story is kind of like silly, you know, and the battle mechanics are, yeah, I know the games have problems, you know, but the pixel art, gorgeous visuals in that game. What else? We could go on forever. Chrono Trigger, oh man. Chrono Trigger has phenomenal pixel art, one of the best pixel art ever created in a video game, period, you know. Chrono Trigger, I like a lot. Oh man, I love the Illusion of Gaia, has beautiful pixel art too. Dragon Force, why didn't I think of that, you know? Dragon Force on the Sega Saturn, that's still pixel art and the animations are phenomenal. I mean, dude, we could, let's leave it at that. Those are my favorites. We could go on, man. Atelier Iris 1 and 2 and the that's it. Have you ever done a video on top console JRPGs versus other console JRPGs? We've done clips of that, on my second channel. I just did one called PS2 versus Switch. You can find it on my second channel. I uploaded that clip yesterday, actually. But not like on here, on this channel. Outside of the Q&As, not really. But we've done those several times. What do you think is the best Square Enix RPG? Brian, I did... how dare you ask me that question? Take a step back and rethink what you just asked me. What's on your t-shirt? Why is everybody asking? I wore this t-shirt before. This is a meme of Edelgard from Fire Emblem Three Houses that says obey, because she's, that kind of character that wants everybody to obey her. It's also like a meme against the system, I think. Redhead, brunette, or blondies? I seem to have a preference for redhead, but not really. I don't care. What matters is on the inside. It matters! I have met girls that are freaking beautiful, blondies and redheads, also brunettes. And God, get the fuck away from me, please. Yeah, sure, you're gorgeous, but fuck off. Star Ocean: A Second Story was such an experience. You should play the remake. There's close to zero censorship and woke bullshit, I think I don't know if it added, like, gay romance options for the gazillion endings that it has. Maybe there's one ending with gay romance. I don't remember if that was already present in the original, so I don't remember, but you should play the remake on PS5, PS4. Masterpiece. Xenogears has nice pixel art. Oh, we could go on. That's a beautiful fucking game. Xenogears, the animations during battle. Man. Dragon Quest V? Senel or Luke? Which is more likable to you? Senel. I hate Luke. Senel, I don't know, I liked Senel since the beginning. I know, I understand a lot of people hate that character, I understand why, but yeah. When you noticed that the RPGs were changing, when did you notice that they were changing to modern audience? Back in the 2019, 2020, one of the earliest examples that I saw was 13 Sentinels. I've talked about that, so when I noticed that, I was like, the gaming industry is going into a horrible direction. I don't know what's the JRPG industry, I wasn't paying attention that much to other games back in the day, but yeah. 2020, 2019, 2020, that's when the gaming industry started being fucked in the ass by these companies and by these mafias and the government, the US government. What if Square Enix went back to Squaresoft and rehired all the good people who made it awesome in the past? That'll be fucking great, It's not gonna happen, but that will be fucking great. What's my favorite obscure original Square or Enix RPG? First party? I don't know. Square Enix, I have no idea. Almost every single one of my favorite Square Enix games isn't first party. Someone else developed the game. Tri-Ace, Tokyo RPG Factory, Lancarse. Somebody else did it. Obscure, right? Squaresoft. You know what, Brian? I did a video called Squaresoft RPGs, all of them, with the exception of the Japanese exclusives, from worst to best. I ranked all Squaresoft games from worst to best. Check it out, so I can't think of one right now. Have you talked about the 3 Xenosaga games? 1,000,000 times. If Working Designs made Xenogears, they would have done the second disc justice? Yeah, with tons of stupid Americanized jokes and bad translation, sure. Complete justice, man. Do you care about 60 frames per second? Yes, I do. I didn't care before, but I do. It's my job to care about that and resolution, and performance. So yes, I care about that. And I developed an eye for it. I couldn't do it before many years ago, but since this is what I do for a living, I started paying attention more and more each time. So now I have an eye for that resolution and frame rate. So yeah, of course I care about that a lot. I mean, it's not gonna make me put the game down unless the frame rate is like terrible, But I do care about that. Speaking of pixel art, have you played through Hyper Light Drifter? No, I don't know what that is. Is that like an indie game? Is there anything new? Anything I should know about? Probably not, nope. Don't know what that is. What are we listening to? Golden Sun? Oh, the black sheep of Golden Sun. The one people didn't like. Well, no opinion, I never finished that. Oh, it's an action role-playing game. Hyper Light Drifter. Well, let's look it up. Oh, it looks really colorful. Yeah, it's all pixel art. It looks fucked up as well. Okay, so you play as this wily guy with a sword and a red cape, ninja type of guy. Okay. Don't tell me it's a roguelike. Randomly generated dungeons. You got your shops, your towns. Okay. This looks great, man. Looks pretty interesting. But is it a roguelike? One of those with randomly generated dungeons? Because, I'm kind of like not a fan of those. I'm tired of those. Probably because I played so many, but I'd rather stick to Crimson Tears or something like that. So where is this? Everywhere. Switch, PS4, Windows, Linux, Xbox One, phones. No PS5, huh? Oh, you got a Game Award. Well, when the Game Awards were not shit, they have never been great, but they were kind of acceptable, like maybe not respectable, but okay, they weren't hateable when the Shame Awards started, were just starting, Great. Do you think Falcom can redeem itself on being pickier on who they choose specifically? I still don't understand the question. What do you mean? Not a lot of people today. Probably because of the title. Damn interrogation time. People are like, what the fuck is that? I'm not watching that. I want a Q&A, Eric, not an interrogation. It's the same fucking thing. Well, they just don't know it. Well, whatever. I don't give a shit. Compile Hard had nice pixel art. Because they weren't called Compile Hard. They were just called Compile, and they were doing a lot of shoot 'em ups in the 90s. They didn't want to see your water bordered. I don't know what the fuck that is, man. Okay. People didn't want to see me waterboarded. Okay. I don't remember waterboarding me, but okay. Apparently people didn't want to see that. Do you think Falcom has the opportunity to redeem themselves if they just choose better publishers abroad? They have a slim chance considering most publishers are still controlled by the left or by left-wing retards. So they should start publishing the games themselves, in my opinion. Yeah, the translation to Reverie is like, it's bad, but nowhere near as close as Daybreak. Nowhere. But it is bad. It's bad. All the Trails game got fucked in the ass as soon as NIS America took over, man. All of them, every single one of them. Since Cold Steel 3. Waterboarding is a torture interrogation technique. That's an interesting fact to know, man. Where did you learn that fact and how do you know that? Nobody fucking knows that. Well, Final Fantasy 15. Well, Final Fantasy died to me after 12, so I don't know much about how much woke bullshit is on Final Fantasy 13, 15. I know there's a lot on 16 though. But anyway, yeah. DEI was created by Barack Obama in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. And Trump was there from 2016 to 2020, and he didn't get rid of it back then. Why? Why wait until this year to get rid of it? Maybe because he needed the world to be divided. He was like, nah, if I get rid of DEI, nah, the world will be back to normal. And if I leave it alone, it will keep dividing people. I'll leave it then. And that's what he did. And now he came back to destroy it, conveniently. Oh, he didn't know the ropes back then, now he's wiser. Well, okay, I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt. It's not a roguelike, so you in Hyper Light Drifter, you got your dungeons predetermined. They don't change whenever you visit them, because I'm tired of that, you know. Oh, and they made another one called Hyper Light Breaker, and that's the roguelike. Oh, okay. So I'm not gonna play that one. You miss the chest dialogue from Exit Games in Legend of Heroes? I think NIS America also had that, you know. If you try to open the same chest again, they throw in some jokes. The jokes were better with Exit Games, but nowadays they're like, nah. Yeah, NIS America is garbage, man. They've been destroying the translations of the Trail series since Cold Steel 3, and I've been criticizing that since then. When I made my review of Trails from Zero, I also criticized that, you know, that they are changing dialogue and Americanizing it and, you know, snowflake icing it. That should be a term. Wokenize it. I don't give a shit about the East 10 upgraded version. I couldn't care less. I'm fine with the original version, where the translation is also garbage. Not Daybreak level of garbage, but garbage nonetheless. Nisa is trash. We all know NIS America is garbage. So, there. Tales of Legendia got boycotted because it was developed by an alternative team at the same time. Yeah, some Americans worked on it, believe it. It's like a Final Fantasy IX. But the majority of the developers were Japanese, so. The fandom seems to hate it. I think the hatred... They seem to hate it back in the day, you know, but I think the hatred has been reduced because other Tales games got, like, the worst treatment, like Cesteria, Symphonia 2, Tempest. Those are some of the most hated Tales games. So it's like people forgot, the fandom probably forgot about Legendia. They're like, I don't give a shit about this game. I got a new Tales game to hate now. It's called Cesteria, so let's hate on that instead. Let's leave Legendia alone. So they finally left Legendia alone. So they can hate Cesteria and Symphonia 2 and Tempest, you know. Yeah, I don't think Cesteria is a bad game. I don't think it's great. It's still one of the worst Tales games, but it's, you know, I don't think it's bad. I don't think there's a bad Tales game. Yet. Wait until Namco ruins the next one. You remember when Final Fantasy 15 had such a hellish development? Really? To the point where they decided to cancel 3M. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember, yeah, 15 was actually going to be 13. And it had a different name. It was like Final Fantasy Versus, right? Does anybody remember that? I got all the memories mixed up in my head, you know, but because it's been such a long time. But I remember that, you know, when Noctis was like shown in the trailers, you know, I remember that. but it went nowhere. And then all of a sudden 13 was out, and everybody was like, what? So what's going on? What happened to Final Fantasy Versus? Or what happened to Noctis? Or what the fuck? Who is this lightning girl? You know? I remember that. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I don't like the game, Final Fantasy 15. But yeah, the development during that era, it went through development hell. You know, Final Fantasy 13 and 15, there was a lot of bullshit going around that era. I don't know what the fuck happened, because that's when Square Enix started going to hell, in my opinion. What's your holy grail of all the games you want physically? Haunting Ground on the PlayStation 2. Survival horror game, one of my favorite non-RPG games of all time. Do you think it's possible for a JRPG franchise to be too interconnected? It's called Trails, right? Is there a line you'd argue exists for how good the plot has to be to make that work? Trails should just fucking die. It should have died after Reverie. Daybreak should never have existed, or it should have been called something else, you know, not Trails. The series is overdue, man. It's just end it, Falcom. Do something new. Or make a new one that's not connected to any of the games. But yeah, it is possible, Brian. It is possible to have a franchise too interconnected. I think so. I mean, Trails proved it, you know. Suikoden was kind of going to be that until it died 15 years ago. Out of curiosity, what cities and areas in Mexico are the best for tourists to go for a prolonged vacation? None of the big cities, man. Don't come here. Do not come here to Guadalajara. It's the weather is the worst fucking thing you will encounter here. The traffic is ass. To prolong the vacation in Guadalajara? Hell no. Mexico City is also one of the fucking worst. Monterrey, worst. Visit a small town. That's what I did when I moved to Canada. I was in Canada. In a really small town. That's better, man. Do that. But you're asking the wrong guy at the same time, because I don't know much about tourism here. I haven't visited that many cities here, so I don't know. But my best advice is stay away from the big ones. You know, they're just no. Well, Square Enix is like the politics, you know, the world is divided. The Square Enix fandom is so divided, it's just like the world nowadays. It's a good example of the world. Do you like Peruvian ceviche or Mexican ceviche? Neither. I'm not really a fan of seafood. I try to eat fish at least once a week or every 2 weeks, you know. But I'm not really a fan of seafood. So ceviche is fine, you know, but I couldn't tell you. You're asking the wrong guy. You got rejected by a hot redhead in Spain. Had a great conversation in chemistry, and she rejected me saying I'm busy. Doesn't make any sense, man. Life sucks, man. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Welcome to my world. Are there any JRPG villains you thought were justified? My question about JRPG villains that I get every Sunday. What's your favorite food that you can't normally get where you are? None. I can get all my favorite food here. All of my favorite food, meals, I can get them, you know. Nope. Can't answer that. I live in the best fucking country on the planet when it comes to food. So, nope. Nope, I can get anything I want, dude. Really. Great, Michael, that's great. Keep running errands. What country are you in? Mexico. Never understood if Sephiroth was good or neutral or evil character in Crisis Core. I don't know much about that guy either, you know. Oh, wait a second, Sean. UK, I agree, bad food. I lived there for 5 months. the food is bad. You know what the best fucking food was? The one prepared by non-English, like by Indians, by Arabs, by Mexicans, but the native food in the UK, trash. Canada, I strongly disagree. Sure, it's not one of the best. Mexico is better. Japan, China, maybe. But Canada has great fucking food. Native. Any good advice for heartbreak, Uncle Eric? First and foremost, I'm not your uncle. And I haven't experienced a heartbreak in a long time. Or maybe I experience it every day, Every day I wake up and I'm like, I'm still single. Fuck. I don't know, man. I haven't experienced a heartbreak in a long time. Can't help you, man. Sorry, I'm sorry, by the way. Are you more of a condiment guy than, I don't know. I was born here, so did you have an English fry-up? What? What's that? No. Have you been to Spain? Nope. Canada has native food? Sure it has. Poutine, toppings, sauce, yeah, sure, I don't know. Whatever, in most places that I went in Canada, the food was fine. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know, I lived there for a year and a half, man, and I ate different things. But you're right, but it's got good meat. It all depends on who makes it, I guess. I don't know. What do they even eat in Spain? Probably charcoal. Charcoal, I've never been to Spain. I have family there. I have a cousin in there, living there with his wife. A couple of cousins living there, but I don't talk to them, so I wouldn't know. Spain doesn't seem like an interesting country to me, It may be too similar to Mexico in some things, and also too similar to the rest of Europe in others, so I'm not interested. And no offense to anybody from Spain in there, but I just can't stand the accent. We hate each other's accent. Spanish people hate Mexican accent, and we hate their accent as well. In fact, it's not just Mexico. The entirety of Latin America hates the Spanish accent with a passion. With a passion. What countries would you like to visit when things get saner? Aren't they already sane? Isn't Donald Trump fixing the world? I'd like to visit New Zealand. Like top of my list, Japan and New Zealand. But they aren't exactly possible because traveling there as a Mexican is very expensive, super expensive, so it might not happen in a long time. So I would love to visit those countries, but I know for a fact it's not gonna be possible. It's not. I mean, the chances that I visit those countries nowadays are pretty low. I would love to visit Germany again. I've been there, but I was only there for like 3 days. But considering their current political system being more oppressive than the one here in Mexico, I don't know, man. I will visit and explore around, and then I will get the fuck out of there. I will probably visit some more European countries like Poland, Switzerland. I don't know. France seems like nah. I would love to go to Scotland, Ireland, the Nordic countries, definitely Norway, Finland, Denmark maybe. I don't know. Maybe even Russia, but I don't know. I would love to visit South Korea. There's a lot of countries, man. Believe it or not, I would love to visit Argentina. But I don't know. Tons of countries. Spain talks so much shit about Mexico. We talk a lot of shit about Spain too, don't worry. Maybe Donsk. Maybe. You moved to Russia? How's life in there? Where would you want to go to in the States? The normal cities. You know, I would never... I think it's easier for me to tell you which cities I would never visit in the US. Or states like California, no thanks. Washington, no thanks. New York, nope. Thanks. Florida, nope. I will visit maybe Salem. Oh, fucking, I'm just talking out of my ass. Come to Scotland and try haggis. Okay, what's haggis? Is that a meal? A native food? You were born in Germany, raised American, and okay, interesting. You've been all over the place, Sean. People are saying in Russia? I get the feeling no one's gonna believe you that. Heavy metal and grunge. Which one do you prefer? I think I'm more grunge. Heavy metal as in Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, I don't know, all those bands from the 80s. I think I'm more into grunge, yeah. But I'm neither. I'm more into industrial metal. I don't know. I listen more to grunge because it's just easier for me to play on the guitar. But I like both, you know. Deftones. Deftones is one of my favorite bands of all time. Probably my number 2 nowadays. You had to sell your $50,000 video game collection since Canada housing prices are so bad. Ooh. I think housing prices are bad everywhere, you know. Here in Mexico, it's no different. You want to buy a small fucking apartment with only one room? Great, $50,000. And you're probably thinking, $50,000, that's nothing. It is a lot here in Mexico. You want to know what the minimum wage here in Mexico is? Not even $2 an hour. So yeah, $50,000, that's a lot. For the shittiest fucking apartment you can find. Well, okay, I'm talking about this city. You go to the small towns in the middle of nowhere, okay, yeah, $10,000 for an entire house. But nobody lives there, you know? Is there a remaster of Breath of Fire 4 in any console? Sadly, no, there's just the PS3 digital version of it on PSP, you know? So no, there is no remaster of any of the Breath of Fire games. Will you never do a What the Hell Happened to Xenosaga? I heard I did that, didn't I? Didn't I? I did one for Xenogears. It sounds like you will enjoy Salem during Halloween. Yeah, maybe. You hate Nirvana so much? I like Nirvana. I don't like some of their biggest hits, you know. I fucking hate Smells Like Teen Spirit. I can't stand that fucking song. I hate that fucking song. Come As You Are, no. No, please no. But I love others, you know. I love In Bloom. I love Aneurysm. I love Mr. Mustache. Well, that's a really obscure Nirvana song. I know some of those on the guitar. Mr. Mustache is so hard to play. Anyway, is Fairy Fencer F refrain chord? No, it's fucking garbage, man. And I mean it. Do not play that game. It's ruined by woke bullshit. And it also has terrible pacing. I reviewed that game, man. Don't play that fucking game. It's ass. Haggis is liver and lungs stuffed in a sheep's stomach served with a whiskey gravy. Great, I love that. Sounds delicious, man. That sounds fucking delicious. I'm moving to Scotland tomorrow just to try that. What do you think about Falcon Music Team? They're my favorite, some of my favorite composers, man. You already know that. You forgot what you should ask here in the Q&A. You already forgot. Really? Suikoden out next month and then Lunar in April. That's right. That is correct. Where are the Kaiser Chiefs? Sometimes I think you guys just talk out of your asses and you're crazy like me. That's why we get along. You're fucking crazy. You mention things, you just mention whatever and rant about whatever. So you like Kingdom Hearts 2 but not the first? Yeah. Do you get mad when people call Zelda an RPG? Not really. I mean, the Zelda series has influenced a lot of RPGs, despite not actually being one, you know. But then you got you got millions of people who say it isn't, and millions of people who say it is. But the creator of the series said it isn't. So, because the creator of the series says it isn't, then it's objectively not an RPG. I don't know. The developer said, you know, no, it isn't, so no. I don't know, they have a lot of RPG elements. I wouldn't know, to be honest. Do you think most JRPG series should stay the same, like Dragon Quest, or change with it? No, they should stay the same. Oh, the music band, the Kaiser Chiefs. I've never heard of that. You know, I don't know what that is. My problem, I mean, that's... Do I think most JRPG series should stay the same? They stay, I mean, all I want is those fucking localizers to burn in hell, man. We should get rid of those first, and then maybe we should start thinking about which JRPG series should stay the same in terms of gameplay mechanics. First thing we need to get rid of is the fucking localization assholes. You live in Mexico, right? Yes, I do. Why? What do I think about the genre switch? I don't like it. I think it's if a strategy RPG series it changes to turn-based or to action, I don't like it. That doesn't mean the games are bad. You know, Arton Elico is a good example. Arton Elico was turn-based and then action, and then they regretted that, and then they came back to turn-based again. This is all leading to me shitting on modern Final Fantasy. Come on. Okay, that's sad news, Fantonium. Has your opinion on your ranking of the Suikoden games changed from your video? No, you mean the one from worst to best? Where Suikoden 5 is number 1? No, it hasn't changed. The one that kind of changed is the one that I did in the form of a top 10 many years, like 8 years ago or so. Damn, it's been a while since that one. That was one of my first videos in English, you know. Top 10 best Suikoden games. It changed a little bit, but for the games that are not in the top 5. You know, but my Suikoden main series ranked from worst to best, nothing's changed. 4, 1, 3, 2, 5. Same. If Steam makes a console, will you buy that? Depends on how much it's gonna be, and depends on a lot of things, you know. I will be interested, but not really. What do you think of VR games? Can't play them. They make me dizzy. I have motion sickness. It's great, you know. I don't have a lot against VR games, except the fact that most of them seem to be first person. I understand why they are first person to be a little bit more immersive, or fully immersive. I get it, but they make me dizzy, And I don't feel comfortable having a huge fucking thing in my head blocking my view, No. I'm not a fan of VR games, but I have nothing against them. Best JRPG interrogation since Persona 5. That's right, you're damn right. Don't you think games like Suikoden 3 and Dragon Quest 8 suffer from slow combat? Yes. A lot of JRPGs suffer from that, Dragon Force. Play Suikoden 3 and Dragon Quest 8. Okay, and then play Dragon Force. And bitch about the animations that you cannot skip no matter what. Dragon Force says hello. On the Sega Saturn. Oh boy. Oh boy. I couldn't give two fucks about Life is Strange. Have you watched the video called Game Dev vs. DEI, the uploader's experience with woke brainwashing just sounds horrible? No, I haven't seen that. Who made that? I mean, I don't need to watch it to know that a lot of developers go through horrific things because of that, Especially because of the brainwashing, but I already know that. I feel like if I watch the video, I'm not gonna learn anything new. It's just gonna piss me off, and side with the uploader and keep hating DEI. Should I watch it? It's just gonna make me angrier. That's right, Ryan. That I couldn't agree more, man. Whatever Suikoden 3 lacked, it made up for in good story and outstanding villain. Couldn't agree more. Suikoden 3 didn't age very well, to be honest, in terms of gameplay mechanics. Moving around, feels sluggish with your character. Random encounters, the battle system, It's still a great game, though. Really like it. Yeah, Dragon Force is like, oh my god. It's not the masterpiece that I was expecting, but I have a lot of good and bad things to say about it. I'll probably review it in another video, because I just praised it in a video called 10 JRPGs that surpassed my expectations. You guys watch that? I'm pretty sure you did. Dragon Force was there. Emulation has fast forward. I haven't figured out how to fast forward in RetroArch. Can you tell me? Can anybody tell me that? How do you use the fast forward feature in RetroArch? The emulator, Where is it? Like, I'll do it right now. I'm desperate. Like, I fucking love Dragon Force, man, but... And that is one of the many reasons, Pale Goth, why I couldn't give two fucks about Life is Strange. Skies of Arcadia worth the hype. I don't know, play it. Watch my video. Suikoden 4? Come on. It's not bad. It's a good game. It's still Suikoden. You still recruit characters. You still have that battle system with only 4 characters though, but it's there. I mean, it's got great music. Come on, good story. Don't be too harsh on Suikoden 4. It's a good game. No, I haven't tried Dragon Force 2. I know there is. I think Dragon Force is a long game, okay? Really long. I think I'm gonna wait. Once I'm gonna wait a while until I get to the sequel. But I'm really interested in the sequel. Best party in Dragon Force? Oh man, I don't know. There's a lot of fucking characters. There's over 100 characters. Jeez, that's an insane. I don't know which one is the best route. I chose Terry's, the cute little blue-haired elf. You know, I chose her, and I didn't know when I chose her that she was considered as one of the hardest routes. So I went into Dragon Force the hard way. In RetroArch, you can add fast forward in the hotkeys configuration. How do I do that, man? I need a tutorial. Step by step. Please. Can you believe that Skyrim from 2011 has far more features than Avowed from this year? Unbelievable. Not trying to be a bitch, but why are there people that hate to eat meat? If you have a medical condition, but to everyone eat meat is okay, Donsk. That's right, Pale God. No, I've met people that can't eat like regular meat. It actually harms them, you know, but most of the people who don't do that are actually, it's just fake as fuck. They want to feel morally superior, that's right. Vegans and vegetarians, you know, are all like that, you know, it's just annoying fucking people, man. Well, I care about the animals. Yeah, sure you do. You should stick to one monarch, Ryan, in my opinion. I think Dragon Force is one of those games where you only need one to play as one monarch. You don't need to play as the others. Maybe do a second monarch one day, but that's it, you know. Because the game's too long. If it was shorter, if it was like 10 hours long, I will play the shit out of it, you know. But every fucking route it's super long game, man. And long for a game like that. Doesn't have a lot of story, you know. It's 90% gameplay, 10% story. Dragon Force. So imagine. You have to beat it to play the others. Oh, the Goldark and Reinhardt, right? Yeah. You cannot eat red meat because of your condition. So Yum Yum has a condition here, but you can eat all other meats, right? I mean, you're not gonna be like, you shouldn't hurt the animals or kill the animals. You shouldn't eat them, you know, come on. They will eat us if they could, you know, to survive. Nobody cares, don't. Suikoden 5, well, you can emulate it, right? Can you emulate Suikoden 5? You don't need to buy it. I mean, I know it's over like $100 game already. That would be an interesting video. I feel like nobody will watch that video. But damn, I want to make that fucking video, like the $100 club, you know, of JRPGs. All the JRPGs are over $100. You know, oh, thank you, Mystery Kid. I haven't received a super chat in a while. Thanks, man. So you can just emulate it, man. Emulate it. Don't you hate how modern developers make a base game, then make DLCs, and then finally release a complete or definitive edition later on? Yes, I do. Big donation? No. That's like 50 cents, man. It's not $29. It's $29. I don't know what that is, but I have a feature here on YouTube that automatically makes the conversion, and that's like 50 cents of $1. But that doesn't matter, man. What it matters is the intention, not the amount. Ship navigation takes a while to get in Suikoden 4. Look, I'm not gonna excuse the fucking game. It's in that department, in exploration, it's fucking ass. I still think I fucking gave it like an 8.2. I was generous with Suikoden 4. I love it. I fucking love Suikoden 4. Can't help it. I've beaten the game twice. I'll probably never touch it again, but I've beaten the game twice. It's so hard to defend Suikoden 4, you know. Super hard to defend, but I still defend it. I still think it's a good game. You should put up with the navigation. And its amount of... yeah. Come on, you're willing to put up with Suikoden 4 navigation? You're not willing to put up with that, but you're willing to put up with the crazy-ass exploration of Xenoblade Chronicles X? Are you willing to put up with Shin Megami Tensei 4? Shin Megami Tensei 4? I mean, what's wrong? What the fuck is wrong with Shin Megami Tensei 4, man? Apocalypse was kinda like it too, but not in that level. 5 was not like that. Nocturne, it's like in most Shin Megami Tensei games, at least the ones that left Japan, you know, not the dungeon crawlers from like 10 million years ago. You always know where, most of the time you know what to do or where to go. But in Shin Megami Tensei 4, you just don't. You like, remember the example I gave the other day? Like they tell you, oh, I heard there's an NPC, you talk to an NPC. And it's like, I heard, you know, they're doing this in south of Shinjuku. And then off you go like a fucking idiot. And the south is like 10 fucking different places. And you know what my problem is? Like, okay, you don't have any random encounters. Great, thank you, Atlus. No more Nocturne bullshit. Thank you. You know? But in the map, the enemies appear in your I mean, when you're in the dungeons, the enemies appear sometimes in your face. You're running and and you get into a battle, and you're like, okay, fine. Thankfully, there's another battle. And I got to a point where I was doing most of the exploration on easy, just so I could do... I mean, I don't like playing Shin Megami Tensei on easy. I just don't. I can't stand it, you know? But I did it on easy, just so I could do auto battle and get over with the battle. There's just a lot of fights in there. I've seen JRPGs with random encounters getting you into less battles than in Shin Megami Tensei 4. And another, when you're in the overworld map, when you're just a fucking icon, you know, from like a computer game from 1986, you know, that the fucking you traverse these narrow spaces, right? These really narrow streets and spaces, and then an enemy blocks the entire street, and it's like, I don't want to fight. I'm tired of fighting. Go away, and then they go away. But then you advance, you pass right through them. I mean, above them, and then they respawn behind you and chase you, and you got into a battle again. It's just unbelievable, man. When I played that game many, many years ago, I was like, okay, I know the game has problems, you know, the challenge quest is bullshit, but the exploration, I didn't know it was going to be that bad, you know, and it's bad. And not only because of the monsters around, but also because of where the fuck, I can't believe it, man. It wasn't just once or twice, it was like 10 fucking times. Like, where the fuck do I go? Like, dude, really? It's like every 2 missions or every 2, I don't know, boss fights, you know, I didn't know, what? And sometimes the NPCs don't tell you. It's like, I look up a guide, like, okay, where am I supposed to go? And they're like, oh, you gotta go here, here, and here. And I'm like, there's no way in hell I could have figured that out. Maybe I'm that fucking stupid, you know, but there's just no way I could have figured that out. Other times I'm like, oh, they told me to go there, but I just didn't know where to go, how to get there, you know? Okay, so I figure it out. Maybe I look up a guy, it's like this and this. Oh, so I was right. Oh, so I was going the wrong way. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine, you know? But there's like, you needed to go to this fucking tunnel and then... What? The game never told me that, and I talked to everybody, and nobody told me that. That's bullshit, man. That's Dragon Force bullshit. Dragon Force also pulls the same fucking bullshit. The same, like, what am I supposed to do? Oh, do this. The game never told me any hint, not even a remote hint, nothing, that I should do that. Okay, fine. Shin Megami Tensei 4 is the same, and Apocalypse is not like that. I still believe in terms of gameplay, Apocalypse is the better game. Maybe not in terms of story. I think, actually, the story in Shin Megami Tensei 4 is not like God tier, you know. It's just the fans make it out. It's like me with Chrono Cross. But I can actually make a good argument on why Chrono Cross is incredible, you know. But Shin Megami Tensei 4 is like, why do people call it a masterpiece? It's just not. It has a lot of issues. You know what the biggest fucking issue is? Yeah, this is a Shin Megami Tensei 4 rant that I've been bottling up for weeks. I'll try my best not to spoil. I'm not going to spoil anything story related, but you know how the Shin Megami Tensei games are neutral, chaos, and law route, right? The good route, the bad route, the whatever, you know? You know that, okay? So in this fucking game, and I talked about this in my video from like a few days ago, surpassed 10 JRPGs that surpassed my expectations, you know? I talked about this. That it's unbelievable that to get any ending here, you gotta follow a guide. It's just impossible. Otherwise, you get locked in whatever because you make a lot of decisions. But most of the decisions aren't that obvious, you know? And you're like, okay, I want to do the chaos route. So I'm gonna choose this and that on my next playthrough. No! You may get accidentally locked into another route. And it's not like you can go back to your old save, because in your old save, from like 2 hours ago or 5 hours ago, you already made some decisions that may have locked you into another route. So that's bullshit. But that's every Shin Megami Tensei game for you, I'll give you that. That's not my my complaint is that you don't force... This is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna level of bullshit. You are locked in the neutral ending, okay? I looked up a guy and I was like, okay, apparently I'm locked in the neutral ending. Okay, so that's supposedly the canon ending. So I was like happy. I was like, oh, I got that. That's exactly what I wanted, to get locked into to get the neutral ending, the neutral route. So that's what I got. But you need to complete 20 plus fucking challenge quests. Why? Why do you force the player to do side quests? They're called side quests, optional quests. Never should a fucking side quest be mandatory to get any fucking ending. Never. And Shin Megami Tensei 4, oh, guess what? You need to complete 20 plus fucking challenge quests, including a tournament, you know, and win 5 battles in a row, 2 or 3 times, you know, and then all of that bullshit. And I'm like, what? Okay, so you know what I did? I read a guide. What's the next? What are the mandatory quests to finish the damn game? Because I couldn't finish it otherwise. There's not like, okay, you know what? I'll just get a different ending. No. You're locked into the neutral ending, dude. Sorry, you're fucked. Well, if I get a bad ending, well, there's one, you know. I'm not gonna spoil it, but you can make a certain decision near the end of the game, before the final dungeons and bosses, and that gives you the bad ending. But nobody wants that! The game just ends, no final boss fight, it's just that you get a bad ending, oh, game over, that's it. Shitty ending, nobody wants that. So what's the alternative? Ditch the fucking game or restart it, follow a guide to get either the chaos ending or the law ending that don't force you to do a million side quests. But no, I got locked into the neutral. You want the true ending? Oh boy, welcome. And other Shin Megami Tensei games don't do it to you. They don't do that to you. They don't force you to do side optional fucking meaningless quests. They don't. It's just Shin Megami Tensei 4. Great game. Love it. You know, great fucking game. But it's just not the masterpiece they say it is. It has a lot of fucking problems. And that challenge quests, neutral ending, it's bullshit. That's right, Apocalypse is better in everything. I'd say in everything but characters. I think Apocalypse in terms of story is just as great as 4. But in characters, 4 is better. And 4 also has Nozomi, you know. There's a lot of challenge quests at the end that you gotta do to get a neutral ending that involve Nozomi, who is a playable character in the in Apocalypse. So that was interesting. I mean, now I'm a big fan, you know. I was already a die-hard fan of Apocalypse. Now I'm a fan I'm a fan of both games. I'm a big fan of both games now because it's like the same story, you know. One is a direct sequel to the other, and it's fucking great, you know. I think in terms of story, both games are equally fantastic because, you know what, it's the same fucking story. But it's just characters. I mean, you get Navarre, and then the kid, and then the gothic little ninja girl, you know, that looks like the girl from The Ring. And Nozomi, she's hot as fuck, but her outfit is like, seriously? And then Asahi, I love Asahi. You got a problem with Asahi? Fight me, I'll fight you to the death. I love Asahi. But she's a 15-year-old brat, you know. She's no Isabeau. So let's leave it at that. So in terms of characters, Apocalypse is worse, but in everything else, it's just the better game. Right? That's it. I'm probably gonna piss off every single Shin Megami Tensei 4 fanboy out there. And this is why the SNT fanbase fucking despises me. Because my favorites are the ones that they hate. If you're gonna be a Shin Megami Tensei fan, you gotta love and worship 3 and 4, and that's it. Do you miss old console memory cards, or do you prefer hard drives in consoles? Actually, I miss memory cards. You could get them for cheap and, have a plenty of them, so you wouldn't run out of space, and you wouldn't have to be uninstalling games every time you want to play a new fucking game. That's a rant for another day, man. Could there be more transparency in games and let players know which path they are heading? Exactly. I don't necessarily need a marker or a GPS system, I love that. Because I'm too lazy to figure out where I'm supposed to go, and I have a terrible sense of direction, even in real life, but yeah. Just be a little less cryptic and tell me where I need to go. Fuck Tales of Rebirth, man. Did you ever get choice paralysis in any games with multiple endings? Yeah, all the time. In some, I'm pretty sure, like in Suikoden, not in Suikoden, because, okay, there's only one good ending, all the others are kind of bad. You want the good ending, recruit all characters, So there's no paralysis choice in there, but I experienced that in other games. A lot. Speaking about Shin Megami Tensei. I want to play Fantasian. Yeah, me too, but I keep forgetting. Micro SD card or memory stick are the current storage space for consoles? Basically. Basically, I have a hard drive. Maybe I should get a hard drive for my PS5. Jesus. Dude, I have like 20 games in the PS5. That's 1 terabyte. Jesus Christ. That's okay, yeah, Dragon Force. You need a guide. Dragon Force is impossible to play without a guide. It's just impossible. Impossible. Shin Megami Tensei 4 almost the same. I think it's impossible. But not that impossible, Dragon Force is just straight up impossible. Atlus is owned by Sega. You didn't know that? Anyway. I stay away from SMT due to difficulty. Well, they have easy modes, and let me tell you something about the easy mode in Shin Megami Tensei games. It's not that easy. It's still kind of challenging, except the merciful mode in Nocturne. Easiest mode ever created. But easy mode in 4, easy mode in Apocalypse, easy mode in 5. 5 is really hard, man. So if you play on easy, you know what? You know how I see this? I don't think there's easy and normal in Shin Megami Tensei series. There's just normal and hard, disguised as easy and normal. So if you play on easy, you're playing on normal. Trust me. Which JRPG franchises would you like to see overthrow Final Fantasy as number 1? Nier, Shin Megami Tensei, Ys, and fucking not Trails anymore. Thank you, Nemo Propaganda. Valkyrie Profile, Grow Lancer, Suikoden, Fire Emblem. No, you didn't hear that. Nope. Nope. The SMT4 DLC makes you overleveled easy. Oh, but you gotta pay for it, right? Unless you're emulating. I emulated the game. I didn't know there was a DLC, but nah. I want my hardcore experience, thank you. Will they ever remaster Shadow Hearts? I answered that question and made it into a clip for my second channel. Go and watch that. Which game plays better, Stellar Blade or Nier Automata? I don't know, because I only played Stellar Blade for like 1 hour. I only played the demo. It seemed fine though, but I think Nier Automata was better. It's just more hack and slash, more fast paced, and Stellar Blade felt more technical. To each their own, I guess, you know. But my opinion, take that with a grain of salt, because I haven't played Stellar Blade yet, just the demo. That's it for today's Q&A, people. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you on the next one. I will play The Last Story. You guys voted for that. That's the game that won. So next JRPG stream here on YouTube is going to be The Last Story on the Wii. Have a great weekend, people, or week, or whatever. Thanks a lot for the support. Thank you, Nima Propaganda and Hoof Long for the super chats, and Mystery Kid. I appreciate that. See ya.